Welcome to the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Hofmann, and like always, I have an amazing guest star every time. And this one, oh my gosh, already, Natalie Forest. Hey, Natalie!
Hi, how are you?
So we're going to hear from Natalie in just a second, but real quickly, I want you to go out there and change lives and make amazing things happen for yourself and for others. So I would love for you to go check it out. Public Speakers with an S Association, all spelled out.com today. Look around, see how you too can go out there and start speaking and really get your message known. That's what I love doing. And while you're there, at the very bottom, there's a way for you to sign up to have a chat with me to see what is it that you need help with in the speaking world so that you can get a little bit more information and see if PSA is right for you. All right, so now let's get back to Natalie. So Natalie, what do you have going on nowadays?
I don't know where to start. It's just this year just started out, everything just started out so much fun, and I'm actually trying to do less, which is a very, very much change of pace for me. Trying to, do less. It's like weird. It's like revolutionary almost for me. So I have a lot going on, working on TV shows, of course, joining you and the PSA, which I already love, even though it hasn't been that long. It's amazing what you offer. Just being out there. I joined a friend of mine in her networking. So there's a lot of new energy, I think, where people really want to collaborate. And I'm trying to grab all of that and just play with it. That's really what I do.
Right? It's the whole thing about connecting and collaborating seems very difficult for a lot of people. It's like everyone thinks that because of the internet and social media that they don't actually have to talk to anybody and actually connect. And I think that's where they're losing out, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just like we've gotten so used to texting. And every now and then it's really nice to hear a voice because there's so much misunderstanding if you text or email. I mean, I'm busy, so I get that sometimes I have to text and all of that. But hearing a voice, it makes all the difference because you can feel what they're feeling and you don't worry about, did they capitalize this word on purpose or what do they mean with this? You can just ask them, Yeah, it's funny. Social media is one of those things. I'm not sure it's actually helping us.
Well, I think it's a tool, just like anything, right? And it's just like setting a resolution at the beginning of the year. It's a tool to end with a goal. And a lot of people think it's just something you say. No, it's something that helps you move along.
Well, it's actually funny because I made a resolution, but not at the beginning of the year. And that was actually to be a little less on social media. And I love the way that you just mentioned that, because I have two things that I think are a bit revolutionary. One is I don't do New Year's resolutions because I have found that all they do is they make you feel guilty 2 weeks down the road. And so, and plus everybody does the same thing. I'm going to have to lose weight. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to be nicer. And then 2 weeks down the road, you're already downhill because now you've got the negative self-talk because you had a glass of wine or maybe you had a cigarette. So to me, New Year's resolution are one of the symptoms of competitive and comparative society. And I think they're counterproductive. Same goes for social media in some ways. But I want to just talk for a moment about resolutions because I always do a workshop about resolutions. And I have found that people really get themselves down on it. So what I encourage people to do is stop thinking resolution, start thinking goals. Therefore, you can make a goal whenever you're ready for it. And you don't have to compare it to anybody because it's your own personal goal. A resolution, New Year's resolution, or, a resolution when you get married or on your birthday, everybody's going to check up on you. And then you get, again, into this really negative thing of, oh my God, I fell off the wagon. And that's a whole different ballgame, our new and not very intelligent negative self-talk. But really, resolutions don't work. How many people follow their resolutions? Like right now, I think every gym has free membership. That's fantastic. You don't have to sign up. You get it at a discounted price. So they get a lot of people in. But how long are these people really going to be at the gym, if at all? A friend of mine signed up, I think last year in January, was gung-ho, went twice all year. So resolutions don't work. Goals work. And you know as well as I do, goals work when they come from the heart, when they're aligned with our purpose. So just setting resolutions or goals that make sense to other people, honestly, you're going to fail. You're not going to keep them because you're not committed to it. And so, New Year's resolutions and all of the workshops about new year, new you, to me, they are part of what I'd like to change about society because they don't serve us.
Yeah, I know. I always have people think that it's funny because my goal is the same every year, and they're like, "That must be a sucky goal if it never changes," And my goal is always to look back at myself the year before and not recognize myself. So that pushes me all year. So when I see something that's like, "Oh, I don't know if I could do that," then I'm like, well, I've got to change myself. So the only way to change is to actually transform by doing the thing that I'm scared of. And that has gotten to me from being an introvert to, now who I am.
Right. Well, it's funny. And it's true. But what you just said is it comes from you, right? You want to do it for yourself. You want to do it because you understand that that's part of, for lack of a better term, it's part of what you're here to do. With your association, with your speaking, with everything that you do, it's part of, for lack of a better term, your purpose. And so your heart's in it, your soul's in it. But just doing things because, whether it's in business or personal life, it's really crucial to me that people begin to, I guess, reconnect with who they are and whatever works. You mentioned introvert. I'm an introvert, but I've also been a teacher for years and years, so I was always front and center. That for the move towards becoming more of a public person was natural, even though I love my privacy. So it's like this, I'm an introvert and sometimes I'm an extrovert. But it works for me because I understand that part of what everybody else in our profession as experts have to do is we have to be out there because we're on a mission to help humanity, to help people, as I say, be happy. And too many people are not. And part of the reason why they're not is resolutions or trying things because somebody else said that they should. And that just drives me off the wall.
I know, me too. And when you start looking at, because I get a lot of people obviously who want to be a speaker and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't want to do anything on social media and I don't want people to really know me." I'm like, you can't get people to want to book you to speak if they don't know you. You've got to stand out as the expert. So you've got to get over that headset, of, I just want to stay in my comfort zone. You've got to push yourself out there. And realizing that there's so many amazing people. Yes, there's going to be people that you're like, oh, really? But then there's a lot of people that you're like, yay.
Yeah. And, if you don't go out there, how can you help somebody? With social media, it's one of those things, one of my resolutions or goals is really to switch a little bit more from one platform to another one. Okay. But that's because I realize the people that I can help, that I can serve on personal performance, on team performance, they're not necessarily over here, they're over there. Now, everybody knows me in these two arenas very, very well. Now let me move into the other arena. I'm not going to give it up, but I have realized that in order for me to do what I'm here to do, so my new goal is go over there and play a little bit more in a different arena, which is also less competitive and comparative. And I think, that's really crucial, but I can't serve the people that I believe I can find there if I'm not there. Do I like to spend 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour a day on social media? I could probably be doing something else, but it's part of what I need to do in order to do what I'm here to do, if that makes any sense. And, and that to me is a goal. Like you said, we're going to meet new people. It's a goal to pursue one step at a time. And we can't get there overnight. It's impossible. So we get there by taking one step, one step, one step. And sometimes we need to realign. And sometimes with your resolution, it seems like the same one, but because we've evolved, they're actually different. And they still serve us and humanity. But
and don't you find too that, when you're connecting with people, sometimes the timing just isn't right. Yes. And then when you connect with them a year later, then all of a sudden you're like, chung, So a lot of times people like throw someone away because it just didn't happen, what they think was supposed to happen. And then they never revisit. And to me, that's like really missing out, because to me, it's about building relationships, right? You and I met, but it's been a while now. It's like years or so, right? Am I thinking right? Yeah. And so I'm like, how did that come about? Because we adored each other when we met. The timing wasn't all right. And then here we are, Yeah.
And then, that's a really good point, because we often expect other people to do something or to be where we are. And that's just not the case. I mean, there are hundreds or thousands of people who are not ready for whatever I'm bringing to the table, for whatever you're bringing to the table. And that's okay. Maybe they'll be ready for it next year, maybe in 2 or 3 years. And the same goes also with relationships and relationship building. That's always my biggest goal. And that hasn't changed, I think, in the last, I don't know, long time. I won't go there. Because relationships are everything to me. It's not about making the money, making the sale, even though, an income is nice. We need that. But it's really about the relationship. And the other piece about relationships is you have to be honest. So if I meet you and I cannot serve you, why try? And some people will try just because the resolution said by the end of the month, I need to get X amount of people into my programs, or I need to, have, 5 new cars, whatever it may be. And so to me, I think the switch to relationships, collaboration that is growing, I want to support it. And it's not a resolution, it's a goal. And I've had that goal ever since I came out the womb, as my mother says, But it's really crucial that we understand and accept each other the way we are.
Right.
Whether it's with the resolutions that we make, with the plans we make, with the jobs we have, it doesn't matter. You got to accept it, and then it can work. And like you said, sometimes it means we have to wait a year.
I know. And it's always funny to me because sometimes you meet somebody, and I met a lady one time, and she was in her headspace, and we just did not connect. I was like, wow, this woman is all about her. Well, I didn't know it was her first time to speak. It was her first time to be on stage. She was actually a keynote for the event. She was, all dolled up, and she had just come off the stage, and she was just overwhelmed with the response and the responsibilities that day. And so when I said hello, she wasn't in the space to get connected to me. So then we laugh about it, because then a year later we met each other again. And I was like, oh yeah, that's that lady that was so rude. And she was super nice. And I'm like, oh. And then so I told her about it, and she's like, oh, well, this is what was going on. And so we forget that everyone has their own moments, right? It rarely has to do with you when someone doesn't connect.
Exactly. That's part of what I'm working on actually this year. It's like, the focus on be you and forget about everybody else. If somebody's unhappy, if they're going through their stuff, that's them. And we always try to, especially women, but also everybody else with a feminine energy, we start going down this road of, was this me? Did I say something? No, it's really about them, and it's okay. And when it comes to speaking, the other thing that I found is that a lot of people just speak and give topics versus being themselves on stage. And it just came to my mind when you said, the way that she looked, and I'm sure she looked very, very pretty and very nice. But I have found also that there are certain things that I won't do when I'm on stage. because I don't want to be too dolled up. I don't want to be too this, because then I can't move. And when I talk, I move. So I think the other piece is really important that we have to understand when we set goals, it is to be you, regardless of which environment you're in. So whether you're wearing a gala dress or sweatpants, it's got to be you. And that's what resonates with people, whether it's in the speaking, whether it's in the coffee shop, whether it's anywhere. And to me, those are the goals that really matter, just to be honest. And sometimes that means you have to say, I don't like what you said, and that's okay, because then you can deal with it.
Yeah, you
It's
should
so much
totally
more
be the
honest.
same person at the gym, as the
Yes.
person at the pool party, as the person on stage, as the person at the networking group. You should be
Yeah.
that same person, because I mean, a lot of people, I know you do too, that you're like, oh, come down from that little high horse you're on, right?
Well, or why are you all the way down there? You could
Yes,
do
or in
this.
the
You
other
can do this.
direction.
Yeah.
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 So
It's
tell
simple.
me, I know you have something amazing to offer our listeners today. What is that?
Well, I don't know how amazing it is, but since we just talked about relationship resolutions and goals, I have started to actually offer what I call sip and talks. And they're very simple. They're like a virtual coffee or tea or whatever you want to drink. For like 20 minutes, we just chat, get to know each other, because that's, I think, what's going to change the world. And that's what I like to offer all of the people watching right now, or maybe later. And it's very simple. It's a bit.ly link, bit.ly, and then /, and all it's going to say after that is really NFI, Natalie Forest International, _coffee. So I figured that was quick enough, and I just like to connect with people, and we're going to do it on Skype or Zoom or something like that. If you don't have that, we can just, talk on the phone, but make a connection and see where we can collaborate or work together, or where I can support you.
Awesome. All right, everyone. So make sure you jump on that bit.ly/NFI_coffee. So make
Yes.
sure you jump on that, because she is amazing. And of course you would want to have virtual coffee with her, right?
Or tea.
Yeah, or tea or water or whatever you want,
Yes.
So we're real excited that you were here, Natalie, today. Obviously, I want you to come back often, because you're so amazing.
Thank you. So are you. That's why we're here, because you're
Right?
giving this platform to everybody.
Yay! All righty, everybody. So join us next time on another fabulous TV show, just so you can also meet my fabulous friends, because obviously they're amazing. All right, everyone. Thanks, Natalie. Bye, everybody.
Bye.